in everybody's eyes, if they beat Manchester City,
yes,
you'll hear them all coming out the woodwork saying the title's over.
Will you say that?
Absolutely not. I was part of a team that won the title, having been 11 points behind with 13 games to go. No, if Liverpool beat City next week, it is a huge result, but it's not title defining, because I've seen.
it's a huge result, and it's even more importantly than a huge result, it's a lot of leeway. It's a lot of room for those days that you're going to have an off day. It's a lot of room for those days when maybe VAR, maybe the ref calls go against you, and maybe you don't come away with 3 points, but you come away with 1 point. Or maybe you come away with no points. That kind of gap is exactly the kind of gap you need that will help a team like this, because this is a team that has been in title races before. It's the kind of gap that will help a team like this Liverpool side avoid panicking.
I've seen it happen before where it can disappear. So yeah, they're in an incredible position. They absolutely deserve to be favourites. They are favourites. I mean, to have an 8-point gap after 11, 12 games, then it's yours to lose. I mean, it is Liverpool's to lose, having been given an 8-point start from City and 9 from Arsenal.
Stevie Nichols on ESPN was right. Liverpool certainly were the better side. They did deserve to win that game. And the best account Southampton gave of themselves in the entire 90 minutes was their second goal. That was as good a counter-attacking goal as you'll see from any side in the top half of the Premier League table. So that was really the one moment that I did have a bit of hesitancy, and I was wondering that, wait a minute, what exactly is looking to happen here? But of course, also, like what the ESPN crew was saying, ultimately, this was a game that spoke more to the fact about Southampton shooting themselves in the foot than Liverpool per se, dissecting them with beautiful football and incisive passes. There wasn't really any of that. The first mistake is an obvious mistake from the keeper, who plays it to the player who has no choice to play. I mean, all this happened inside the box 18. So the first goal was certainly a mistake by Southampton. The second goal, another mistake, this time by the Southampton keeper. I mean, I honestly don't understand what he thought he was doing when he came out. I mean, when you look at the goal, you're even like, what's going on here? Right? And then the third goal is entirely comical, right? Because Sugawara jumps, and you can see that he has 2 touches on that ball. The first one is the ball making contact with his arm, but there's a second touch which is clearly his arm moving to the ball. So, it's like what Ali was saying, that he was complaining to the referee and he was talking about, it was my arm. And I'm like, if you don't know that that's a handball, brother, I'm not sure football is the sport for you. Certainly not as a professional way to earn a living. But Liverpool did deserve to win that game. And that's just where I want to leave it as far as that game goes. But as far as the Premier League title race goes, I will be honest and say that Liverpool didn't fill me with confidence in that game. I've talked on this channel about how I don't really have any interest in saying too much about Arne Slot, because he's done a lot that makes sense. He's come into the squad, he's come into that team, and if you take a look at it, he hasn't done much. I've said this before in a previous video. What has impressed me about him is simply the fact that all he's done is he's toned down the intensity. He's toned down the aggression, right? He's dialed all of that down. And I also have said previously that personally, I thought that intensity and that aggression under Jurgen Klopp was always a real reason for some of the injuries that the Liverpool squad were picking up. And so the fact that he's dialed that down, I'm not underestimating the fact that if you look at it, we're 12 games in, and apart from Trent and Jota, he's been able to keep most of this team relatively injury-free. And I do not doubt that that is a factor due to the more, I won't call it relaxed because it's not like they're that relaxed, but certainly that intensity that Jurgen Klopp, the Genge press football that Jurgen Klopp's team thrive on, that's been taken out of it. So it's allowing these players who already are very good players, it's allowing these players have more energy to actually play football, not so much energy to drive up the intensity and the aggression over the course of the 90 minutes of the game. So I've been saying for quite a while now that I think it's just more about watching Arne Slot and his team as they pick up the points. Okay, so there are two things to this statement. I saw a Sky Sports video. I didn't watch it, but I saw it was Jamie Carragher. Something about him disappointed in Mo Salah for making that statement. But we all know